Zed-Voices of the Youths podcast, a podcast that amplifies.
Announced that Zambian music on radio should be played more than other music.
Certificate Yaba Zonefam, yonse ali kuno guys. Let's find out why does he have all these things. Baba Zonefam.
Score been boom bapping since back in the days. This rap's a real blood sport, so I might Frank Dukes on them.
Nati para uka tatu ukalishe mu youth. Ukalishe mu youth. Para uka sister ukalishe mu youth. Ukalishe mu youth. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Ungangale ndiwe kemba. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Olowenza vibala. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Nabonse bama business. Panoni paseti tifuna voice ya mu youth. Naima mu ma offices pushing at my dreams.
One of those that has been wondering if Zambian music has evolved, or we have a definite sound, a signature sound that one can tell to say, okay, but yena mbera hii nyam Zambia sound hii. Otherwise, we don't know what's happening. If we're still experimenting or checking out different styles, we don't know which is which. But today, ladies and gents, we are talking about music, everything from Zamrock to today's sound, or the sound that is actually making noise in Zambia Matumuno. And I'm joined by one of the pioneers of Zambian music, if I can say, because this person has been in the game for quite some time, and I'm sure most of you know this person that I'm with, and it's actually a privilege to be here and also holding this award. Guys, I'm so excited. You just don't know. So this award that I'm holding right now, I'm sure your favorite artist has held this before, or your favorite group. We katako pakama wachiramo boza zonefam guys. The award yawa zonefam we. Ibere ngati African Music Video Award, most gifted duo group featuring video. This is zonefam Kontorola. Bagamba. Icharona abantu guys. I'm so excited, and there's more awards I'll actually show you later on. You'll see most of their awards are actually here. So tizaona kwena enango guy. Otherwise, I am joined by one and only Holstar.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Zed-Voices of the Youths.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
So before I start the actual topic, I'd like to ask a simple question.
Okay.
And come on, and I don't think I'll change that one. I think
Okay.
So money or love?
Money or love?
Yeah. Before we go anywhere.
Good question. Love for sure.
I've got 3.
But money is important too.
So which one is which? They're both important, but which is which?
The truth is that love conquers everything, even in the absence of money. But we need money in order
to get love.
Not to get love. No. Let's not mix the two together. We need money in order for things to move.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah,
I don't want to completely do away with the money. But love conquers everything.
Love conquers everything.
Yes,
eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but nowadays, monga paso. Man is conquering all.
Man in there, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
We can see.
True.
We can see.
Yeah, but anyway, it's good to hear. So I've gotten 3 answers.
Right.
Love, straight up. Guys. But anyway, so love is quite important, guys. You need love. Drama is later on. Just love wholeheartedly. Yep. So, Holstar, let's begin by, I think you just introducing yourself.
Okay.
There are those people like myself. I know you've done rap, used to rap. But how would you best describe or define yourself?
All right. So my name is Holstar.
Okay.
Real name is Duncan Sodala. I'm primarily a musician, music artist based in Lusaka, Zambia, HipHop artist, but I do delve into other genres such as R&B and rock.
Rock.
Yes. I'm also a business owner I run a business called Time Machine, and we deal with vintage items such as vinyl records, comic books, and other collectibles that are very, very, very long to mention right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do in a lot of things. So
I see.
that's who I am. Someone that loves my country, Zambia, wholeheartedly.
How do you show that?
How do I show that? I'm very patriotic. I love to share stories about Zambia, about our history, and I love to stay optimistic about our future as well.
True stuff. True stuff. No, thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
I've seen some of your content, especially on TikTok. Like you said, you love Zambia. It shows that you do love Zambia, and some of those stories that you share,
yes,
they're quite touching. And I think I would like to ask something about that. So how do you select which myth to share? Things like that. Yeah, how do you come up with that? How is like the process? My
process of sharing Zambian history, Zambian mythology. I mean, I do a lot of research. Usually I'll come across a lot of content that's already online, or even someone else might have shared it, but I want to give my own twists, my own version of it. So what I'll do is that if I come across something that catches my eye or catches my ear, I will research on it, try and put it in my own words, try and present it differently, or even come up with a whole new story around it, and then just go ahead and share it. I don't try and overplan it or overthink it. I just go ahead and do it and try and see what the results are. If it's good, then I try and reflect on it and do it differently next time. If it's good, then it's good, on to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would also like to find out. So what song have you been listening to this week?
What song have I been listening to
mostly
this week?
Which song have you been
Mostly?
The one that's on repeat. What
song have I been listening to recently?
Or even something that you think people don't know that you are listening to.
Right?
Or an artist that you're listening to, people don't know that. Oh, okay.
I would say I've been listening to a lot of Tupac of late.
Okay, why?
I was a big fan. Okay. I was a big Tupac fan.
But still in 2025, you're still pumping that.
Yes, still in 2025, I'm still listening to Tupac. So, I remember I was a huge fan of, All Eyes on Me album, the album that he released just when he died. Yeah. And I was listening to the music. I kind of revisited it because I had the album on my laptop.
Yeah.
And then I was just listening to it. I was like, this music is very good quality. And this is more than 30 years later.
Yeah.
The music is so good quality. The production was amazing. I'm like, have the standards gone down or what's happening?
Happening? That's it.
Yeah. So I'm like, we need to maintain those standards. Sure. We need to reach there where Tupac was in order to have that longevity that Tupac has. Because there's young people today that listen to Tupac and will gravitate towards him.
I know some of them.
Yeah.
So
we need to replicate that.
We need to,
as someone that's trying to leave something, trying to leave a legacy.
That's important.
Look at what Tupac did. It's the quality. The quality alone was good. Now content naive.
Everything.
Content naive fanika. Yeah, in the Pamos.
We have ended, and I think I should have ended, and
exactly.
No, that's cool.
That's
how about Zambia?
What we in Zambia, this morning I just listened to Tim's latest Michael Jackson freestyle.
Okay.
And that was really, really dope.
Okay.
I love that freestyle that he dropped just yesterday, I think.
Oh,
and it's already gone viral. That's pretty dope. Exactly.
So I was thinking you're going to mention the People's Choice. You know the People's Choice, guy?
That is People's Choice.
Yes. Who can be that?
The People's Choice right now. Obviously, be Your Maps, right?
Exactly.
I listen to some Your Maps.
What song do you like in his recent album?
The Kondwa.
Oh yeah.
The one he did with Daxon.
Yeah,
it's called Try Again, right?
Yeah, that's in that other album.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. How about the recent one?
Which one is the recent one? Is it the one that's
My Hero.
dedicated to
It's called
parents?
My Hero.
Yeah, I like that one. The video is
X or the same My Hero song.
The My Hero one.
Where they started with some arguments,
exactly. Because Malilo Shani. Yes, man. Wow, the production is high quality.
Yeah.
You know,
I get
very
the sense
quality,
like what he was trying to do there. You know, Ukafa, that's when people show up. But why is it like that, TB? You know, people even be shocked. So this guy, the uncle was, you know, but
right.
I
mean, there is something that people say that as human beings we tend to fear the dead, if you will, or respect the dead more than they are alive. There might be something there.
Because mutubienzo pempa ndrama ndero mbako shani abweranda chekuba vampire and then you show up na mapajero na mapenzi alignment bantu wa shocking.
I know.
I never saw these guys coming here but then they even offer mabunga mashani.
It's just look, it's just human nature like this.
It's
just human nature.
There's someone. I remember some Anyway, these stories. Okay, let's go somewhere else.
Please, sir.
Yeah. So now when we're talking about music, so I'd like us to begin from the beginning itself. Yeah, from the beginning itself. We've heard about Zamrock. So I'd like to find out what is Zamrock, and was that the sound, the Zambian sound?
Yes, absolutely. So Zamrock is a genre that was born in the 1970s in Zambia. Basically, it started with bands such as Mosiotunya, that was comprised of Ricky Lilonga and Mr. Kuzwayo was the producer.
Oh yeah,
he was a producer. He was the owner of a label. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But there was also Mr. Larry Maluma. He was one of the founding members of Mosiotunya. So this sound, Zamrock, was birthed from, first of all, our former president, late president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, announced that Zambian music on radio should be played more than other music.
Oh yeah,
so they wanted like 90% of Zambian music.
Yeah, that was in 1975.
That was in the 70s, yes. And there was not a lot of recorded Zambian music at the time. So what that pronouncement created was now people going to the studio to record a lot of music.
So that it can be played.
Exactly. So these guys were already inspired by foreign rock music, like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. They were already inspired, the dressing and the like. But one of the bands was also inspired by a group from Ghana called Osibisa. Because what Osibisa did is that they fused their traditional Ghanaian music, Ghanaian chanting, with rock music as well, and other sounds, Caribbean sounds and the like. And so the Zambian guys also told themselves, we can also do that. We can get this rock music and we can be shouting Zambian traditional things, you know, chanting themes, you know. Of course, we had our Kalindula music already. And Kalindula, the origins of Kalindula was to kind of be where people would go to funerals and console the mourners. You know, people are mourning, but you go there to console them. So if you get that traditional music and you fuse it now with that rock sound, and it was like psychedelic rock, you know, so it was kind of it was different from, you know, the heavy metal or stuff like that. But that is how Zamrock was born. They kind of fused different genres together and came up with that sound, and it was a huge hit. I mean, we had bands like the Ngozi Family that came from that. We had Crossbones. Crossbones eventually became Amayenge. You know, you had Oscillations. And so many bands came from Amanas, yes. So many of these guys came out from that sound, and it was really something that resonated with the youth at the time.
Yeah, and I know that Zamrock is quite appreciated, as a Zambian sound.
Absolutely, it is
very much appreciated. But how did it die? How did it phase out? Because I know I've heard like the guys that you've mentioned, Iringa, all these guys that had those bands.
Yes.
Like most of them had died from HIV and
absolutely.
As I said,
yes,
women were just everywhere.
Right.
Like, that's true.
It is very true.
It is very true.
Yes, one of the main reasons why Zamrock died, and maybe even some other genres of Zambian music that we might have not have gotten to hear, is because the 80s is when the HIV/AIDS scourge kind of came to the forefront, and we lost a lot of young people to that. Because
so there's no one to teach.
I mean, there's obviously a few people that survived from that genre, but because a lot of the best talent died out, the music also died out. And then there was also just piracy, there was just a change in the mood of the things, the economy. So I do know that at some point in the 80s, Kalindula then now became more popular than Zamrock. People started doing more of the traditional music. And then eventually in the 90s, like the top of the 1990s, Rumba music from Congo became the main music.
Time we were listening to Rumba.
Exactly. It became it became the main music in Zambia. Weddings,
those
everything.
Things,
the nightclubs,
And there was a lot of West dances. The ones
exactly
our own, not nowadays.
Exactly. So now eventually the music, Zambian music, kind of got revived in the late 90s, 1999, 2000, especially thanks to Mondo music. Yeah.
Good stuff. Before I go to the next question, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe, guys. It's actually free. Just subscribe.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Hit the bell too.
Yeah, hit the bell.
Make sure you get those notifications.
So that you're missing out. Otherwise, we know some of you. I know you come once in a while, you watch, and you just leave it like that. You don't subscribe. Anyway, we're waiting for you. I'm sure one day Muzaka Church will subscribe, Mweka. Otherwise, let's get back to the conversation. Before I even forget, one more time. So having a conversation with Holstar as well as the award. Zonefam Control Bakamba. Dinayo pan. In case you missed out.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually excited because Zonefam, let's even go to Zonefam. Yeah, Zonefam was that group. We used to sing to their lyrics.
Yes.
There's even that one, the famous one by J-Rocks. Okay, it used to sound something else, but that line. The first one.
You're talking about Chikali.
Nyawakulu.
Puere Canyon.
Mongadi Barad,
That was a big song. Biggest song of 2011 in Zambia. The song was playing everywhere.
No, it was everywhere.
And that's one of those songs that has just stood the test of time, because till today, people know that song. Whoever was there at the time, they know that song word for word.
Yeah, even Boza.
Yeah.
Boza is one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
It's like, that's a long time ago, but this guy is sort of Boza, and what they were explaining in their verses was kind of complementing the chorus. It's that thing where you say you understand the assignment. Yeah, so I think share a bit about Zonefam. I know you've told me why these things are here, but for those that do not know, why do you have how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 awards?
6 awards, and there are some which are like certificates.
Yeah, I'm a certificate. You have a Zonefam. Guys, let's find out why does he have all these things. Okay,
so I managed Zonefam for 5 years. Wow. That is the years between 2011, or let me just say 2010 to 2015. Yeah.
What was your manager?
I was the manager, yeah.
The big man for Zone Farm.
Exactly, yeah. And actually,
Yeah.
if we now take it back,
Yeah.
I was actually a founding member of Zone Farm. I was part of Zone Farm.
Okay.
I was one of the rappers
Zone Farm.
in the group. Yeah. Because so I started my hip hop career in 2005. That is recording. And along the way, I met these guys, J-Rocks, Dope G, Young Verbo, and Tim, who used to be known as Thaga. Yeah. So I met them.
Afro, yeah?
Thaga is the one with the dreadlocks now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, not try to switch, man.
Yes.
Okay.
So I met these guys along the way. And in 2010, we actually did a mixtape with a Nigerian producer by the name of Texzilla, who we met in some online forums called africanhiphop.com. And we did a mixtape called The Full Script. So a lot of people would have, at the time, would have considered that underground hip-hop. And mostly as a mchizungu. Yeah. So that mixtape turned out to be one of the top 10 most downloaded mixtapes in Africa in 2010 on African hip hop.
Internet is not that.
It wasn't that big, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in Zambia, yeah. So we had that big achievement, and of course the guys kept on creating. We did some music videos. The first music video was called Pop That Body. They did another one called Bottom to the Top, and one of the breakout singles now that Zone Fam did, and also a major video that we did at the time, it was called Shaka Zulu on it.
Oh, Shaka Zulu.
Yes. So that song got the guys noticed.
Shaka Zulu.
And we managed to connect with a friend who became part of our management by the name of Elaka Gondwe. And she's the one who convinced Endemol and the Big Brother team in South Africa to have Zone Fam go and perform in South Africa live on the Big Brother stage. At this point, I was still a member of Zone Fam.
Yeah.
So we went, we performed. It was an amazing time we had.
Yeah.
There were 30 million people watching at home when we were performing on that Big Brother stage. So you can imagine what an achievement that was for these young guys that were just making music in their bedroom. You know? Yeah. So from that point, realized how serious it was. So I decided to become the manager for the group.
Yeah. And
kind of have the other gentlemen, work together. They had very good working synergy. And so we recorded an album, The Business Foreign Exchange, which we released later on in 2011. And of course, it was a roller coaster ride from there, and they managed to achieve so many great things. Yeah.
While we're here, I would like to find out, how did so every group has got like someone that starts the idea. So you have a Zone Fam as a band. Who was who? Yeah, like that.
I think I would love to believe that they all started, they all chipped in and gave different ideas as to how songs would start. For their first album, J-Rocks was actually the main producer. He produced most of the first album.
As in doing the beats?
Yes. That Chikali was produced by J-Rocks. Shaka Zulu on him was produced by J-Rocks. So, a lot of ideas would obviously start from there, from the beats.
Yeah.
And then, the guys would then, come up with a chorus or something, say, what vibe is this beat giving us? And then from there, they would all write their own verses.
Yeah.
And, it's very interesting because most hip hop songs, rappers will have like 16 bars. But because Zone Fam had 4 members, they all allocated themselves 12 bars. So, the songs wouldn't be too long. It would still be short and punchy. And I would really encourage even rappers of today to revisit some of Zone Fam music because the way they structured some of those songs was very beautiful.
Something you can
very, very beautiful. You can actually still learn a lot from how they structured those songs.
Yeah.
With the hooks and the bridges and the pre-choruses. It's really interesting. It needs to be studied.
It needs to
Actually,
be started, really.
yeah.
So for some of us that don't know these guys, on that note, like the way you know them, I'm sure I used to chill even in my studios. Wapanga.
Exactly. Yeah.
Would you share among the guys who was a bit serious and who was like when it comes to like work? Some of them
They were all serious. And you see, this is
who was the most serious?
No, they were all there. Even today, they are all still very serious, and this is part of their winning formula. This is why zonefam was zonefam, is because the group was very hardworking.
Like, was it ever
they were very talented?
Like, okay,
they'll tell each other that.
Yeah.
Of course, they will tell each other that. You know, if they're like, oh man, a really epic and a big achievement, not only for zonefam, but for Zambia, was winning that Channel O Award in 2013 for the best group in Africa with their song Kontolola. That was a huge moment because we were up against some giants in African music,
such as
Diband.
Conversations irrelevant na mpamvu we cement no angoze baimvera bafana bakulu na angoze